All right, it's Walter from iWalter. I have to redo a whole entire show because I had the audio on the webcam that I have way over that side of the room. So I had a 35-minute show. I'm not going to do another 35 minutes. I don't have the energy, the strength, or anything else, and I start a new job tomorrow. So I'll probably leave a lot out. I've done this before on podcasts, but this one is just a nightmare because I actually enjoyed what I had set up, and I'm going to try to remember everything. So anyway, it's October 1st. It's a new month. Just started, and I start a process for a new job tomorrow. It's not going to pay what my other one does, but I'm still trying to get my old job back. So anyway, by the way, the reason I did this nice lengthy screenshot was for multiple purposes. One was because I was going to try to show people, I got my Abercrombie pants on tonight, my Abercrombie jeans. So this better be recording this time, and I'm going to go through everything as best as I can. And I'm very disappointed. I had a few things. Another reason is my friend Matt is just sick and tired of hearing me talk about this. And by the way, there's my nun. Did I tell you there was a thing on Facebook? I think it was Facebook. Maybe it was some media thing. No, I think it was one of my fan clubs on Facebook. They were talking about. They had an article posted about the woman who plays the nun, and they're saying, well, she's really attractive looking if you see what she looks like in real life. The woman who plays in the Conjuring movies, that nun, that monster nun, and then that movie called The Nun. So it was like, wow, what does she really look like without that makeup? Because that, to me, that nose looks kind of fake and she looks kind of hideous. So without the makeup, she looks the same. So I don't mean to be mean, but the woman looks about the same. The only difference is, and she's got that nose, it's kind of unique looking. It's kind of pointy and crooked and everything. That's that actress's real name. Now, hearing her talk was kind of hip, and she sounded pretty hip and really cool. But, yeah, she's got a crooked nose in real life, too. And her face does not look that different, trust me, without or with the makeup. She just seems like kind of like a cool woman, but that's about it. You know, if you can surpass her looks, then she's really awesome. So anyway, I'll try to do this again. I'm going to put my arms out. Oh, shit. I almost knocked that off the wall. It's a picture from Camp Crystal Lake tour that I did. Okay, my arms are extended out that long right now. And I'm going to try to move across and show you what it looks like. That is the length of my new monitor. Okay, so my old monitor, it went bad. It was, I bought it from this place called Micro Center in St. David's. So the monitor had taken a crap. And it was like, okay, well, I only got it like 6 months ago. So I was in there, and it was like, can I exchange? I called first. I said, can I exchange this out? They said, yeah, you can exchange it out. You got the warranty. You're fine. And then at the last minute, I asked them, you know what? I really am not interested. I had an LG monitor. I think LG is crap. And they said, well, yeah, actually, we just give you a store gift card for whatever you paid initially on the monitor. I paid about $1,000. Now that monitor is only like $800, $800. They gave me the $1,000 back. It was like, okay, do you have any Dells? Yeah, we have a Dell. Well, that's the one I have right now. It's a company professional monitor, and it's 42.5 inches. It's 43 inches. So it's really humongous. So the only thing that's good is I can multitask. If you ever done that, like when I was in college, I used to multitask. And I put up little windows all over my screen on when the laptops and stuff weren't even that big. Even my computer monitor at home was probably no more than like 13 inches, whatever. But I would multitask. And I am so used to doing that, multiple screens, doing different tasks and different screens, that having a bigger screen that is as big as a TV set, because it's bigger than my 50-inch TV set on the other side of the room, it actually comes in really handy because you can have full screens. It's like having 4 monitors in one. That's what they advertise it as, and I believe it. So you can have full screens on individual boxes or on one screen, but it's viewable. So you can do a lot of work with a bigger screen. No puns intended. So anyway, what I have to go through this whole process again. I'm not very happy. I've done this before. It's nothing new for me. For me, my friend Todd had sent me and his brother on a private message a link from some guy from Canada who is on Facebook, I believe, too, also. And he is like really fed up, and apparently a lot of Canadians are, with all these migrants and these illegal immigrants coming into the country, and it's costing Canada tons of money. It's costing the taxpayers a lot of money, and they're just basically destroying the place. So I'm going to play this segment. It was 35 minutes. It was a 35-minute video segment this guy shot on his brother shot on his phone, and the guy was like going through this hotel. I think it was like a Radisson or something. So, or Marriott, I can't remember, in Canada. So he does other things like that, and I got to tip my hat to this guy, because when I play this, I ripped the audio, and out of that 35 minutes of audio, I ripped it down to the first 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Figured that's more than enough that people can tolerate of just staring at my ugly mug. If you want the whole thing, just text me or email me on my link, which everything is on my iWalter page, and I will gladly send you the rest of it, the rest of the video. It's 35 minutes. A friend told me, he says it seems awfully long, but it goes really fast, and I believed him. Because initially I was only going to do like 30 seconds. I was listening to it. I was like, wow, this is really good. But I can't play a half an hour of audio because it would really deter people from even listening to me even more so. So anyway, we'll do that later on. Now that I'm doing the whole show over again, well, I have to pull up my stories now that I only had 2 tonight. It wasn't anything spectacular, trust me. But one was that movie Hellfest, which I thought was going to do a lot better, and it did not do that well at all. So I had all this up. Now I'm doing the whole freaking show again, so I'm really not happy. The movie only cost, I mentioned this before, I did a whole thing on that, $5.5 million to make. So I was like, perfect. Well, the movie barely made that over the weekend. So I was really upset about this. It's like, why did this movie do so horribly? Its original idea, it was a promotion for Six Flags. The premise of the movie was really cool, despite, it being a whole promotional thing for a movie. And it only came in number 6. And I mentioned this prior to doing this podcast, that I've seen movies that were really bad, they were horrible, and they still came in number 1 just because it was something new. And I don't understand, like, people will see over and over again, and it makes billions of dollars, or close to $1 billion, or all those damn Marvel movies. It's like, don't you get tired of seeing superhero movies after a while? This was a horror movie, perfect time, and it's around the Halloween month. It is October now. The idea was very clever. The end of the movie was excellent. It wasn't a fantastic movie, but it was definitely entertaining. And yet it barely can make a little over $5 million. Don't understand it at all. If it's a piece of crap movie, then it will make like $100 million or something like that. $200 million. I don't understand that. Nobody wants to see anything that's like original. So that kind of just upsets me. I'm glad the show was only a half an hour that I wasted and, flushed down the sewer system now. So I would recommend it. Again, don't think it's like, oh my God, this movie's horrible, or it's not that scary. It's not horrible. It's not that scary, but it's actually definitely, I just wanted to tip my hat because I thought it was an original idea. Making a whole movie about a amusement ride at Six Flags. I mean, that's a really interesting idea. I thought they executed it fairly decent. No, I'd say it was really well. I thought the actors in there were really good. The guys and the gals that were the main characters, they didn't stereotype in the characters, and the movie does horrible. Maybe you need to do all this stuff. There was no nudity. There was no, man or woman on top of each other having sex. None of that. It was very subtle, and it was a good kickback to the 80s horror movies minus all the sex. And I did not have a problem with that. I thought it was really well executed. But unfortunately, Obviously, other people don't feel the same way. They want all that makes no sense type of horror film. We can't have something that actually is wholesome. I'm not saying the movie's wholesome, but compared to most of the crap out there, this was. There was something on Facebook, too, I wanted to mention. And I got to find it again because, I was done my show and was like, wow, audio sounds like crap. What's going on here? So I got to look for this again. Something a friend sent me. Okay, here it is. You know what? There was another case, and this really just pissed me off, with an Abington high school teacher who lives in Willow Grove, a man, 55, who got in trouble for inappropriate contact with a student. Now, that's one thing. The guy did something wrong. He should pay the price. So, but his bail was set at $250,000, and he had a cash bail of $250,000, and he probably obviously lost his job. Abington high school teacher. Okay, that's fine. That's good. They punished a dude. But you see a lot of these. There was 1 week alone, there was like 20 different school teachers from around the states, all of them in trouble for having inappropriate sex with kids. And some of them were married women with like kids of their own. Other ones were single females that were school teachers having sex with 14-year-olds and admitting to it. So one teacher actually got a slap on the wrist. She got to keep her job, and she didn't get any type of punishment whatsoever. They were going to try to give her at least a year in jail. So my problem is, why are you giving these male teachers for doing the exact same thing, and probably not even as far as having a relationship with a 14-year-old like these women have been doing? But the women get a slap on the wrist. The man gets like 10 or 15, 20 years in jail, and his the rest of his life he's going to be on Megan's Law. The women get nothing most of the time. So my argument is, you got to do the same thing, folks. You got to do the same thing. You're putting a man in jail for 20 years. You put that woman in jail for 20 years or 50 years, whatever it is. You charge a man $500,000 in bail. You charge the woman $500,000 in bail. $100,000 for a man, $100,000 for the woman. If the crime is the same, I don't care if you're a man, a woman, or even from some other planet, you give them the same punishment. You don't water it down. Bottom line. This will not stop the issue, but it will definitely make them think twice before they do it again. You're not going to stop it by giving people a slap on the wrist. You're not going to stop it by catering to these people because you feel sorry for them. That's why I want to play this segment from Canada, by the way, as well. I think I mentioned this before. I'm trying to remember what I said the first time around tonight. But I mentioned me and a fellow friend of mine's, Todd. We went to the Trump rally a year and a half ago up in Wilkes-Barre. And I met a guy who was from Canada, and he was a he really supported Trump. He really liked what Trump had to say. His name was Butch. He was actually from closer, from Canada, but I think it was, I can't remember, but it was like closer to the realms of where California is, but, that part of Canada. So it was out on the West Coast. And he came all the way out here. He is a truck driver. And he says, yeah, I really like Trump, and I like what he has to say. And I think that Canadians are actually having that wake-up call. It's like, okay, we've been too nice for too long. We're gonna stop being Mr. Nice Guy. We're not gonna cater to these migrants, these illegal immigrants, because they're just basically walking all over us. You don't hear that from the U.S., though. You don't hear the U.S. doing this. We are still buckling in, and whoever we feel is being victimized, we just basically let them walk all over us like we're AstroTurf. I mean, it's just really bad. This has got to stop. This has got to stop, people. So anyway, well, I did it shorter this time than I did the last time. I'm kidding. I think I had a couple other things, but that was the main thing. Okay, I was showing people my room because I got a nice, not really, but almost like a vista shot of my room. So I was going through everything in my room. I told you about the monitor. It's a 42.5-inch monitor. Did not cost me a dime. I actually have an iPhone 8 Plus right now, which is nice. I got a replacement phone because I had problems with my 8 Plus phone. It was having major problems. The new one is not having the same exact problems, but it is having problems. So guess what I did was, with the credit, I got $1,000 back from my monitor. Got this Dell monitor for like $600. I had some money left. I said, does it come with the warranty I had before on my other monitor for Micro Center? I have to plug Micro Center on this. They said no. So I said, okay, give me a warranty because I'm a walking catastrophe when it comes to with computer stuff anymore. And it's not built as well. This monitor I have now that I'm pointing at, that thing is meant for industrial use. So yeah, it's heavy and it's heavy duty. So anyway, I was mentioning that this is a 6 Plus phone, by the way. This is my 8 Plus phone. You can't see it. It's got a glass back on this 8 Plus. It's a 256, which I'm going to sell on eBay now. And then I have this phone here. It's a 6 Plus. It's like 3 generations old, which I used to store credit that I had left because I wouldn't use it otherwise. And figure I'll just use it towards this phone, and I'll get rid of the 8 Plus because there's a iPhone 10R coming out this month at the end of the month. It's a cheaper version of the 10 phones, and I'm hoping they fix any bugs and problems. The problem with the 6 Plus phone, it's old enough that when you put the software on, the new software, it runs really slow. And plus the battery is like less than an eighth dead. So, because there's a program on here, and it's called Battery Life. You open it up, you won't be able to see this. But if you go under your general settings and everything like that, and you go down, I'm looking at it, you can just do it yourself at home because you can't see what I'm doing right now, even with the camera. But you look for the part that says battery on your phone. And under your settings, it says, physically says battery. And it gives battery health. And it tells me, okay, I got high brightness on for some stupid reason. But it gives you your battery health. And I might just actually bring it up to the camera. It says 92%. And I try to get an extended warranty on this damn thing in case I keep it longer. So, Jerry. So I'm going to point this at the camera and hopefully I don't knock anything out. Probably can't see it, folks, but there's a thing on there. There's a thing on there that says battery life. And it says 92%. So, yeah, this is like a used phone that was in great shape, but it's just not going to last for many years. And I'm fine with that because I just used it as a disposable phone for now so I can get rid of my 8 Plus. I looked on eBay. eBay is actually selling the 8 Plus I have, the 256 gig. I could get up easily to about $600, $700 for the phone. That will pay the entire price of a new phone for me. I won't pay any money out of pocket. And that is my ultimate goal. I don't want to pay money out of and get myself into more debt. I want to keep myself as close to debt-free as possible. That's what I want to do. So, anyway, that's the thing. And, yeah, I got this. You can't see it again, but this was some Micro Center, and it was it's not going to be very clear for anybody. I'm just pointing the box either way at the screen. And it was, I think without my credit, would have cost me like $230 for this phone. But I got it for nothing or paid a few bucks out of pocket and not much more. Because otherwise I would have not touched the phone. I wouldn't have bought it. And I wouldn't try to unload my other phone because I just don't want to get stuck with that nightmare. My iPhone 8 Plus is pretty much, it's probably either refurbished, but it is a replacement phone. It came directly from Apple. So there was no problems with that phone. And I'll probably put that up online tonight to try to sell it because my friend doesn't want to pay the money I'm asking for it. He basically wants me to give it to him for a few $100. It's like, dude, that phone is a $950 phone. I am not going to give it away to you. You're going to pay as close to as possible what it's worth. I'm sorry. So anyway, I'm going to point around, and I'll play that segment, and I will get this done. Wow, I'm at a 20-minute mark again. That is my nun doll from Living Dolls, whatever they call it. It's that thing for replica characters from horror movies. And cost me nothing because I traded a bunch of crap in, so I didn't have to pay anything for it. A bunch of movies I wasn't watching. Going to go down the line. I'm pointing first, number one. That is Camp Crystal Lake. When I did a tour of Camp Crystal Lake years ago. Well, it's not Camp Crystal Lake. It's actually Nobi Bosco. How do I know that? I don't know. I can't say anything else, but it's called Camp Nobi Bosco. This is a picture group shot of Camp Nobi Bosco when I did that. This down here, which you cannot see, is a shadow box somebody did on Etsy, I believe it's called. And it is of Friday the 13th when it was out on cartridge for the original Nintendo system. Behind me, I'm going to go through that stuff real quick. So I'm introducing folks to my room. Let's see if I can get my finger. I got it on camera now. That stick there is a staff, replica staff from the film. You can see my bald head now. Got my haircut today. Military haircut, though. From the TV show called Xena. Because I liked the character. Her name was Gabrielle. When she used that staff, by the way, in the background, I loved that part of her because she showed that she was a strong woman who did not kill anybody, because Xena did not want the character of Gabrielle to kill anybody. The last 2 seasons, that changed. Gabrielle had murdered somebody in cold blood, and then she got the taste for blood. And the character Gabrielle I wasn't as interested in that character anymore, because I kind of respect somebody who can stand up for themselves but don't shed blood. You know, that's why I was like Doctor Who. The whole thing was, especially with Tom Baker when he played Doctor Who, by the way, was I'm still turned around to the back of people because I want to kind of explain these other action figures. Was you don't need to have a weapon. If you don't have a weapon, you show that other person no harm. I know that's unrealistic, but I just respect that. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, next to the light, starting from that, they're very blurry, by the way. Next to the staff, that's a redheaded character. That's Gabrielle. The other one is Xena with the dark hair, and then the one next to her with the blonde hair, I think her name was Callisto. This is really weird. I know all these characters' names, but yeah, I do know them. And I actually really thought they were cool characters. I really liked the show a lot. I marathoned the show of Xena, and I thought I'd be back by work, and that was about 2 months ago or 3 months ago. I actually finished the whole entire series, all 5 years of Xena, and I thought, again, I would be back at work, and I wasn't, but I will be starting some other job starting tomorrow. So I'm going to get ready for that. I'm almost at my 35-minute, well, I'm not, but I mean, I got to play this segment. So anyway, yeah, there were, so that was a cool show. I just respected the background. Most people think, oh, well, guys don't like strong women. No, actually, it's the opposite. Guys respect women who have backbones. And, that's unheard of, but yeah, it's true. Don't let that get out because it might ruin the left's agenda that women are all victimized, which I find to be utter nonsense. So anyway, I'm going to point this at the screen again because I did it just about half an hour ago. You can see that says backwards. Unfortunately, the camera is showing it backwards, but it says Hammer Films. These were box sets I bought. I bought these about a couple days ago. It was like $10 for 11 films, 2 box sets. If you open it up, I didn't do that before, so I'll do something different. The one's missing. The one disc is missing. But they're like kind of fancily marked. You can kind of see the writing's kind of fancy. These aren't for the price. These are actual authentic discs. These movies are made in England. I am showing the back to show you it's a real disc. It's not a burned copy of movies. So these are all officially licensed, from Hammer. And these box sets were like, for two of them, was $10 or $15, I believe. That's what the Amazon Prime shipping. And it's 11 movies. So anyway, there was a movie on here called Scream of Fear. And it was like I was kind of skeptical about seeing it. I was like, wow, this is probably really dumb. But actually, every Hammer film I've seen so far, they're pretty damn good. Hammer got started because years ago, Hollywood would not allow them to get the rights for movies like with the flat top Frankenstein or the Dracula with Boris Karloff. So Hammer came up with their own production company. They made other films besides strictly horror. And they made their own versions of these movies where they didn't have to worry about copyright infringement or that Hollywood would not give them the rights. The movies are really actually pretty damn good. So last night I started watching. I was like, okay, I'll just watch it. It was this movie called The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll. It was a different twist. A couple other filmmakers did take the same idea that Hammer actually originally did back in the 60s. It was really good. A little bit slow, but it was really good. Because actually, Jekyll was the ugly one, and Hyde was this really good-looking guy, but he was extremely obnoxious and very condescending towards women and everybody else. But the ugly person was not Hyde. It was actually Jekyll. So it was a twist, and it was a very good one. But that one wasn't as good as then I decided, I want to watch another one of these films, see how good it is, because so far they've been pretty damn good. And it was a movie called Scream of Fear. It was a black and white film. They went back and forth, I guess, on what the costs were, because back then, I believe there was a point where black and white was actually more expensive than color. But for the most part, I guess that's why they shot a lot of them in color, probably because it was probably getting to the point it was cheaper. But one of the films, like Scream of Fear, which was an excellent film, was in black and white. And I was a little leery at first. I was like, I don't know if I want to see this. I told my mother, you have to check this out. She didn't want to see it, though. The movie was like a Hitchcock movie, but not like ripping off Hitchcock, but actually, okay, we love Hitchcock. We're going to make a version of our own movie that is like Hitchcock, just like they do with the other Hammer films when they kind of make their own versions of these monsters like Frankenstein and Dracula and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It was their own version of a Hitchcock film, and it was called, again, Scream of Fear. Very good movie. It reminded me a little bit like Psycho. Very little bit like Psycho. It did not try to rip it off. It just reminded me. And if I was saying beforehand, Matt, you would find this interesting. I would even know this, but it actually reminded me, which was actually in Keller, was that movie. Not Scream of Fear, though. It was another Hitchcock film, which it was definitely reflecting off of, which was a good thing. The way they did it was very tasteful. Was that movie called Rear Window. And I can't remember the actor who played in the original Rear Window, but it was really good. They took both those premises, and it took the movie of Scream of Fear had taken many different twists. So, Matt, I'll never get it back from you, but it's on this box set. I would recommend the movie. It is a very good film. It is an excellent film by Hammer. Hammer makes not crap films. They make good films. So I'm just letting you know. And that one, again, when you thought you figured out who, it was a murder mystery, by the way. And it was done just like Hitchcock would have made the movie. It was almost as though Hitchcock actually did make it. Because it had that many kind of weird, twisted turns in it, just like Hitchcock would do. And, but they had taken it one step further, where it just didn't have one twist. It had like two or three. And it was really well executed as a film. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, so I'm at this point. I want to play this segment. Before I did it in a different arrangement. I probably didn't say everything exactly. So I'm surprised I was able to pull off another 30-minute show. I want to play this segment from this guy from Canada. and I'm going to take a pause right now so I can play this. It's like 3.5 minutes, and then actually let me turn on my volume, because when I do this in post, I need to know where what was being said, and I can react to what they're saying. This is only 3.5 minutes, again, of a 35-minute segment. If you find it interesting, just email me or get a hold of me on Facebook and let me know, because what I'll do then is I will send you a copy of this. I'll try to rip it, or even put it up. I'll try to put it up on like a thing on YouTube or something. But if I can, I'll rip it. But it's 35 minutes. It's not the whole thing. It's just audio as well. Excuse me about that, but let me play this now. Here we go.
Hey everyone, this is George here. This is Ronnie Cameron, Propaganda TV. I'm George from Phalange Media, and this is Lee Stewart, also known as Press for Truth. Can you tell us, Lee, where are we right now? And just quick description of what's going on here.
We're in Toronto at the Radisson Toronto East Hotel, where they're housing illegal immigrants that have crossed over from Quebec. $11 million of Canadian taxpayers' money have gone to housing these people, and we're here to check it out.
And can you describe just the smell that you can...
Certain floors smell different than others.
Okay.
We're currently on the 4th floor. It's riddled with feces on the wall. We're going to take you around and show you the exact state of this hotel, because it's absolutely ridiculous. There's literally garbage all over the floor, kids running all over the place.
There's many reports of clients being harassed, women being harassed and actually assaulted. As you can see here, it's absolutely disgusting. There are shit stains. I'm sorry, but there are shit stains on the walls. Look, there are shit stains on the walls everywhere. Just more cultural enrichment coming from refugees. Fake refugees. This is Ronnie Cameron, my brother Ronnie Cameron, and
They've literally drawn all over the walls.
yeah, this is some refugee next level art. Look at this art here.
A stroller.
An empty stroller. You guys have here an empty stroller left in the middle of nowhere. Where is the baby? Is it a ghost baby? I don't know.
There's been a lot of planes.
Just go on TripAdvisor. You'll see the comments. There's literally paint all over the walls.
Can you tell us a little bit about the comments or the reviews that's regarding to this hotel?
Read some.
So we're just
Some of the
walking around
reviews
right
on
now.
TripAdvisor.
All right.
Taking a look at what's going on.
These are some
There's been a lot
art.
of reviews posted. People saying how they're treating the place.
Excuse me, sir.
So
Do you work here?
yeah.
Can you just tell us what's going on here? We're in room 605. I'm so surprised because it seems there's a lot of people. They're just destroying everything, and there's literally shit on the wall.
Yeah, they're refugees,
Refugees?
Yeah, from US.
Do you think it's okay for a refugee to
Yeah.
put shit on the wall?
Yeah, that's why they make all dirty, all the floors.
They make your job harder, right?
Yeah, every day same.
Oh man, are you
Not all the floors.
the older?
Housekeeping, yeah.
The older ones. Is there any violence that happen here?
No, violence is not.
No violence,
No
because we
violence.
were reading
We
some.
have security people, security.
You have security.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard that there is reports that some people have been assaulted waiting in the lobby. Is that true?
Oh, when?
You haven't heard? Okay.
We've heard of cases where there are women being assaulted and property stolen, like their phones and stuff like that.
No.
No, nothing happens like that here. All
Show
right.
you guys more.
Well, you guys can go ahead and read the reviews for yourselves.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Just read the reviews online. It's called the Radisson Hotel.
Okay, you heard that. That was the Radisson Hotel. I cut that too quickly. So yeah, there's more to that. Just let me know if you want to hear it or want to see it, and I'll make sure to go out of my way and get that out to you. So it is October 1st. There was something else I was going to mention. Not much, but it was on the news, actually. It was in Allentown, where on Facebook. That gentleman you can catch. He's got a Facebook page, and my one friend said, I really got to add him because we always make references to Canada and Canadian people, but we're just doing it out of fun. But really, they have a better grasp on things than we do in the United States. They're starting to realize, wait a minute, we're getting stepped on, and we're getting walked all over by these illegal immigrants and these people who just don't want to work. This is going to stop. This is nonsense. So I'm glad that somebody sees something going on around the world. But there was an incident, and I have my own comment about this, but it's with Allentown, Pennsylvania. It happened over the weekend. I don't have anything in front of me. A friend sent me a picture of a bloody hand. That's all there was, laying in the middle of the street. And happened around, I guess, the morning hours or at late at night, where a car, for no reason, just exploded. Other people got hurt, but the people in the car were just basically thrown all over the place. Like, there was body parts everywhere. So there was photos going up on Facebook and of these body parts. Again, a friend had submitted a severed hand that was just that's all there was, laying in the middle of the street. All of that stuff was pulled because of the contents, obviously. And it definitely caught a lot of people's attention. So, I think more of this kind of outburst and these violent, really violent acts of somebody, putting explosives in somebody's car for some reason, or if they did it on their own. This is on the uprise as you just basically naively, America, when you naively just pretend that there's nothing going on and there's nothing you can do about it. Canada, at least they're waking up. This is iWalter. This is Walter from iWalter. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I am signing off for now. So thanks a lot. Have a good one.